Welcome back, Greatworld fans. It looks as though you just can't get enough of our horror movies based on true stories, so here are 3 more true terror tales for all you horror fans out there. And remember, the truth is scarier than fiction, so your discretion is advised. The Entity. Many people around the world have claimed to experience some form of paranormal activity. But what do you do when that activity becomes violent? How do you fight an intruder in your home that you can't see? The Entity tells such a story and is inspired by one of the most famous cases in the study of the paranormal. In 1974, Dr. Barry Taff, a parapsychologist at UCLA, and researcher Kerry Gaynor were browsing at a bookstore discussing their work when they were approached by a woman who believed her house was haunted. Taff and Gaynor were intrigued and were invited to investigate the home. Doris Byther was a single mom in her mid-30s struggling to raise her 4 children in a small, run-down rented home in Culver City, California. Upon moving in, she heard banging on the walls, lights would flicker, and she would hear things moving about the house. The story was first written as a novel published in 1978 by Frank D. Falletta and adapted into a film released on February 4th, 1983. The movie featured excellent performances by Barbara Hershey of The X-Files and Insidious and Ron Silver. It garnered $13.3 million and explores Taft's scientific approach to understand why sometimes it's not the house that's haunted, but the people that are within it. When a Stranger Calls. Ever hear the one about the babysitter who continually receives phone calls from a strange man asking, "Did you check the children?" Alone and scared, the babysitter hangs up, but the stranger calls over and over again, wearing her down, asking the same question, "Did you check the children?" Reaching her breaking point, the babysitter calls the police, who decide to trace the next call. The stranger inevitably calls again, but this time, after the babysitter hangs up, the police call back and frantically tell her the calls are coming from inside the house. The babysitter flees the home in terror just in time as the police arrive. The babysitter later learns the deranged intruder had already murdered the children in their beds, and she was the next piece in his deranged game. Like many urban legends, the story has been told and retold and evolved with each retelling, but many horror fanatics believe this story dates to 2 murders from the 1950s. The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Based on the real-life Texarkana Moonlight Murders, a series of murders committed in and around Texarkana, Arkansas in the spring of 1946. An unidentified assailant known as the Phantom Killer or Phantom Slayer attacked 8 people, killing 5 of them in the small southern town. The murders became national news in a country trying desperately to recover from the horrors of World War II, which ended only 1 year earlier. Writer and director Charles B. Pierce, a native of Arkansas, grew up hearing the story and decided the Phantom's twisted tale would make an excellent movie. Pierce's film is often cited as being the first true crime movie. The real murders began on February 22, 1946, when Jimmy Hollis and his girlfriend Mary Jean Larry were attacked at a lover's lane on the outskirts of town. So, we hope you enjoyed this latest installment of True Life Horror Films. So if you've been receiving creepy prank calls, or made a few yourself, or if you know of any true life horror movies you would like to see us cover, please let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, it's a great world.